Today I want to show you how you can take 3 chords and drastically change not only how cool it sounds and how fun it is to play, but even change the genre that you're playing in based on just 2 notes over the chords. By focusing on just the 3rd or the 5th note on top of that root, you can drastically change things, especially if you're able to add a couple of effects to it. Let's walk through an idea of how to do that. A basic chord transition that you've probably played 100 times. Something that is in 90 different pop songs that you could probably find tonight. How could you take that pop and maybe change it into rock, change it into country, change it into praise and worship, or even add the embellishments of pop? So let's take, again, I've already given you a lot of lessons on 3rds and 5ths. What's a 3rd? What's a 5th? It's that 3rd and 5th note within the scale. And so let's hear how they sound. These are just 3rds and 5ths. So let's talk about how I'm doing that. Again, your 5th note is here. I've gone through that in another lesson. So if you, right there, I was kind of staying on that one note. So it went from that's a 5th. Then I went to up to the 3rd on that C. And then here I just went to an octave for the D. And then just a little. So again, 5th note, 3rd note, octave. And that's where so much, you add a little tremolo, and all of a sudden now it's starting to sound very country-ish. And then. So just by knowing where those 3rds, and I've talked about that in another lesson, so check that out if you need to find out, but where to grasp these 3rds, where to get the 5ths, or if you're changing to be able to, or even using an octave. So that's how you can make it sound like country. So now what if we wanted to make it sound like a worship song? Let's pretend an acoustic guitar or piano is playing those same chords. Again, by just knowing where to find the 3rds and the 5ths, this time I cranked the reverb, took the tremolo off, and you could do the same thing, just swell it in with volume. So something like this. And then you could move them around. There's all kinds of ways that you can, keep ascending that melody line if you want, because most of the time, anytime you're hitting a 3rd or a 5th, it's going to sound great. Think less about playing all these, cool little solo. Like, that's all cool, but there's a time and a place for that. Most of the time, if you're playing rhythm, if you're playing on a guitar track, if you're playing live, there's a ton of room for all these ear candy pieces that you can add in with reverb, with tremolo, with delay, or with overdrive that make it sound really cool. As I'm playing these guys, interact with me. Like, throw me in the comments what genres you're playing, what you're finding helpful with these intervals and with these lessons, because whatever questions you have, that's what I'm here for, to help with those. So throw them out there, interact with me here. So now if you want to make it sound like rock, there's a couple of different ways you could do that. We could start with the octave. Typically in rock, they're going to play either an octave or a 5th. They're not going to typically do that 3rd. So if you wanted it to be more heavy, you'd play the lower, and that's where that 5th is. play the higher octave, something like this. And sometimes they'll just play those together. So there you've got the fifth, you've got the octave. Again, the third, not as common for rock. For pop, oftentimes you could go higher up on the neck and either play a first and a third, first and a fifth, or even a third and a fifth. Because that's all a chord is, and a major chord is 1 3 5, minor chord's a 1 flat 3 5. So any of those combinations will work. Again, I show you where to find and how to find them in another lesson, but let's take the same chord progression and now try and make it poppy. Even that sounds a little country-ish, but honestly, if I was doing pop, I'd probably change it to like a 12 string, keep it really crisp and clean, and just take the overdrive off. You could do something like that. If you're having any challenge, guys, finding where these intervals are, because think of a piano. A piano you can easily see. You can count 2 whole steps up. You can see where the note is, and you can see where the next one is, and it's the same if you're in that key through the entire piano. Well, on a guitar, it's different. So in one of my other lessons, I just go through how to find a lot of these and how to find them within a box, but I'll find them all over the neck too. So make sure to watch that if you're getting a lot out of this, but you wanna have a deeper understanding. Otherwise, make sure to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. I keep doing these. You'd be surprised at just what something like that does. Really appreciate you watching. Don't forget, rock the journey. Enjoy that journey. Make sure to give God the glory with this gift that He's given you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.